That cup of tea you drink every morning, the one you believe is flooding your body with health-giving antioxidants, might only be delivering a fraction of its true power. It's a quiet frustration so many of us feel. We do the right things, we follow the advice, but that promised vitality, that deep well of energy, still feels just out of reach. It's the feeling of running on a slightly depleted battery, even when you're trying so hard to recharge. The truth is, the most powerful compounds in your tea are incredibly fragile, and most are lost before they ever have a chance to help you. But today, we are going to change that with one simple, beautiful addition to your daily ritual. Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and for over 15 years, I've had the privilege of helping women, just like you, navigate the changes in their bodies with clarity and compassion. This space is our sanctuary for honest conversations about wellness after 60. If you believe in nurturing your health with grace and wisdom, I invite you to subscribe and become part of our growing family. And I would so love to know who I'm speaking with today. Please take a moment to tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I love seeing where this incredible community of strong women comes together from all around the world. Today we're talking about a secret hidden in plain sight. It's a discovery that can fundamentally change the benefits you receive from one of the world's most beloved beverages. This isn't about a new supplement or a complicated diet. It's about making what you already do exponentially more effective. Let's begin with something I hear almost every single day in my practice: a deep, persistent fatigue. This isn't just the sleepiness you feel at the end of a long day. It's a bone-deep weariness that a good night's sleep doesn't seem to touch. It's the feeling that your inner light, your spark, has been turned down to a flicker. It's wanting to say yes to a walk with a friend or an afternoon with the grandchildren, but your body gently whispers, "No, not today." It's a quiet grief for the energy you once took for granted. I think of my dear patient Carol. At 68, her greatest joy was her garden. She told me she used to feel the sun on her back and the soil in her hands, and it was like plugging herself directly into the earth. But over the last few years, she found herself just looking at it from the window. The thought of weeding, of planting, of bending down, it was simply too much. She was drinking her daily green tea, eating well, but that get up and go was gone. She felt like she was fading. Here's what was happening inside her body, and what might be happening in yours. Our bodies are constantly dealing with something called oxidative stress. The simplest way to think of it is like cellular rust. It's a natural process, but as we age and due to stress and environmental factors, the rust can build up, damaging our cells and draining our energy. The antidote to this rust is antioxidants. And green tea is famously packed with some of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet, called catechins. These catechins are like a team of microscopic bodyguards, rushing in to protect our cells from damage. But here's the problem. These bodyguards are surprisingly delicate. When they enter our digestive system, the alkaline environment of the intestines is very harsh on them. Up to 80% of these precious catechins can be destroyed before they're ever absorbed into your bloodstream to do their good work. So Carol was drinking her tea, but she was only getting a tiny fraction of the benefit. Now, for the beautiful science which comes from researchers at Purdue University, they discovered a simple, elegant solution. When they added citrus juice to the green tea, something magical happened. The acid and vitamin C in the citrus, with lemon being the most effective, acted as a shield. It stabilized the catechins, protecting them through the harsh journey of digestion. This simple act increased the amount of catechins the body could absorb by 5 to 10 times. That's a 500% to 1000% increase in antioxidant power. I shared this with Carol. Her daily habit didn't change much. She still had her cup of green tea in the morning, but now she squeezed in the juice of a thick lemon wedge. That's all. Within a few weeks, she came back to my office with a different light in her eyes. She said, "Emily, I planted my tomatoes last weekend. For the first time in 3 years, I spent hours in my garden and I didn't feel completely wiped out after." She hadn't just gotten her energy back. She had reconnected with her joy. This is the power you hold. The ability to turn a simple daily ritual into a profound source of vibrant, lasting energy. Now let's talk about our bodies in motion. The second issue that casts a shadow for so many of us is a decline in our physical grace. It's the stiffness in your knees when you get out of bed. It's the slight hesitation before you take the stairs. It's that subtle nagging worry in the back of your mind about your bones, about your future mobility. You want to feel fluid and free in your body, not caged by aches and a fear of falling. Let me tell you about another wonderful woman, Susan, a retired schoolteacher of 72. Her great love was her daily 2-mile walk by the lake. It was her time for reflection, for peace. But lately, her joints had begun to feel, as she put it, creaky and loud. The simple pleasure of her walk was being replaced by an anxious internal monologue, where she was constantly monitoring every twinge and ache. She was worried that her most cherished daily ritual would soon be taken from her. The science here links back to that same concept of cellular rust, but in a different way. Oxidative stress is a major driver of inflammation. Think of chronic, low-grade inflammation as a kind of friction within your body. It's what makes joints feel stiff, sore, and swollen. The powerful catechins in green tea are remarkable anti-inflammatories. They work to soothe this internal fire, reducing that friction in our joints. Furthermore, this oxidative stress also weakens our osteoblasts, the precious cells responsible for building new, strong bone tissue. So, by fighting that rust, we are directly supporting both joint comfort and bone density. When we make those catechins more available, when we escort them into our bodies with that squeeze of lemon, we are sending a supercharged team of soothing, protective agents directly to our joints and bones. I explained this to Susan. Her morning cup of tea, now with a generous squeeze of lemon, became the first step in her walking ritual. She'd sit and sip it mindfully, visualizing it soothing her body from the inside out. The change wasn't overnight, but it was steady. She reported that the loudness in her joints began to quiet down. She felt more fluid, more confident in her stride. The anxiety began to melt away, replaced again by the simple joy of watching the swans on the lake. She was no longer just going for a walk. She was actively participating in her own wellness, turning her teacup into a tool for graceful aging. Your body is a remarkable, resilient vessel, and you, my dear, are its most dedicated and loving caretaker. Finally, let's touch on something that happens in the quiet of our own minds. The brain fog, that feeling of walking through a mental mist, where names, words, and thoughts are just beyond your grasp, can be deeply frustrating and frankly a little frightening. It's often accompanied by a subtle dip in mood, a gray cloud that can settle over your day for no apparent reason. We are sharp, intelligent women, and when our minds feel slow or our spirits feel low, it can shake our very sense of self. I remember Margaret, a brilliant 75-year-old woman who prided herself on finishing the Sunday crossword puzzle in record time. It was her mental gymnastics. She told me with a deep sadness that she'd started to struggle. The clues felt more obscure, the answers harder to find. She felt like the connection between her thoughts was full of static. This wasn't just about a puzzle. It was about her feeling that her sharpest tool, her mind, was beginning to dull. Our brains are incredibly energy-hungry organs and are highly susceptible to oxidative stress. That cellular rust I mentioned? It can also cloud our neural pathways, interfering with the delicate dance of neurotransmitters that govern our mood, memory, and focus. The good news is that the catechins from green tea have a special ability. They are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier. They can get directly into the command center and act as protectors for our precious brain cells. They help to clean up the rust, reduce inflammation, and support healthy cognitive function. When you add that squeeze of lemon, you are sending a vastly larger army of these neural protectors to do their work. You're not just drinking tea. You're performing a daily act of neurological housekeeping. Margaret made this her new ritual. Her morning tea with lemon became a quiet, mindful moment, a promise to herself to care for her mind as much as her body. She told me later that the fog began to lift. The crossword puzzles became fun again. But more than that, she said she felt a renewed sense of brightness, a more stable, positive outlook on her days. She felt like herself again, sharp, engaged, and clear. This isn't just a cup of tea. It is a daily commitment to honoring your own brilliance, clarity, and joy. The beautiful lesson in all of this is that profound changes in our well-being do not always require grand, sweeping gestures. Sometimes the most powerful shifts come from the small, consistent, and loving choices we make for ourselves every single day. The wisdom is not in finding a new, complicated routine, but in elevating the simple rituals you already cherish. You are a woman of immense strength, wisdom, and resilience. Your body has carried you through decades of life, love, and challenges. It deserves your tenderness, your respect, and your advocacy. Adding a simple squeeze of lemon to your tea is more than just a health hack. It's an affirmation. It's a daily declaration that says, "I am worthy of this nourishment. I am the architect of my own vitality." I would love to continue this conversation with you. In the comments below, please share one small, simple thing you do each day to care for yourself. Could be anything at all. Your ideas inspire all of us. Let's create a beautiful tapestry of shared wisdom. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember that you hold so much power to nurture your own health, one gentle, intentional choice at a time. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and stay well.